Wait, are those fake rocks down there? They might be. I need to bring the minecart over here. I need to get in here somehow. Alright, flinging myself again. Ooh. Where am I now? Oh, this location earlier that I didn't explore. This one does open, so let's go in here now. We've got funky looking rocks. And more projection rocks. And this is the tunnel. Okay. Some of these tracks make more sense now. Ramming speed. Dang it. I was hoping I could ram into it, but I guess not. If we were turned around... I can't turn this thing all the way around, though. I can't blast myself in the face, but also... Dang. Yeah, I have to find some way to turn this thing around. Okay. Well, I think I know what I want to do anyway, so... I think CW was pointing us towards dealing with the tree next. So that's probably the next thing we're supposed to be doing anyway. And we also have the passcode we just got. So yeah, actually, since I'm right here, let's investigate the tree. The tree should be watered now, but we still can't get in? Unless it's not. Unless... I do still also have those two, like, teleportation spots, wherever they might end up taking me. I sure are running all over the place. Okay, let's try this. It should be 6341. There we go. Finally. Okay, we're in our house. Welcome. Can we unlock? There we go. Now I can go through here too. There's not much house to it though. Welcome to Hunrath. Please give us a bit of information about you, so we can get to know you a little better. Name, date you came from, please use 4-digit year. Where you came from, country and city. Circumstance under which you were taken, please note any danger you noticed. Emptied and filed. 12,000 AH, 13,000 AH, 15,000 AH. Samuel Karen, January 2017. Manaka, Madagascar. I had just arrived and was driving my supply truck along the coast, south of Manakara, when I recall being washed away and the seed appeared. 15,256 AH. After Hunrath, perhaps? Male, 61. Uziel Regenbogen, 1942, March, Lübeck, Germany. The last thing I recall is a large rumbling while I was hiding in the cellar of a vacant building. I ran toward a bright light in a stairwell. 15,841 AH, male, 26. Maria Galilego, 9-1988, Cozumel, Mexico. On my boat and bad storm. 16,023 AH. Female 46. Fine Qiyu. I probably mispronounced that, sorry. March of 2042. That's still in the future even for us. Portland, United States of America. Skiing, Mount Hood. 16,717 AH, male 37. So yeah, the idea is that it's picking up people from like all around the world. But why? For what purpose? Is this a... I thought this was a lever. Let's see. So this is our map. And the teleportation spots are marked here too. So Entry Canyon, that's where we usually end up being teleported to. Somehow they've made it so that when people get teleported, they manage to get teleported there, I guess? Cemetery, Farley's, wall, tower, tree, town, battery. Okay, we did lock that in. I think I didn't fully like hook it up though, so I might need to go back to check on that. Shop, CW, water source falls, plateau. What does this say? Bosque? River, supplies, fuel, scrapyard, rail yard, bleeder, and lake. They did mention something about the bleeder. So where does this teleport to? Hang on. So if we turn this on, it's circling this spot near the tower. Hello. 15. What does it mean? Oh, seed information. Ambassador seeds. Ambassador seeds were first documented about 150 Earth years ago. They occur about once every 400 days if the trees remain healthy. Natural seed swaps occur between pairs of seeds that, we now know, dropped simultaneously from healthy trees in paired sphere. When each seed was touched by species in sphere, the swap occurred, sending an ambassador from each sphere to the paired sphere. Locations of the swap is defined by the locations of the pairs of seeds. After the first swap, the seeds recharged quickly, allowing for a quick return. First meetings were intense but naturally short. It was quite a surprise for both the Mofang and us. Over time, the seeds required more time to recharge, producing longer visits between species. Collector seeds. Everyone who arrives is familiar with the collector seeds. The bright light that we all are drawn to right before the event that brought us here is a collector seed. What new arrivers may not be aware of is that these seeds, like all seeds, come in pairs. When the tree drops a collector seed on the ground, it signals that its twin has begun its quest for a new being. That search may take hours or it may take years. When an appropriate situation, a natural threat of death, is found, The seed activates and swaps a smaller, but varying sized sphere from Earth, or whatever appropriate homeworld, here to Hunrath. As Hunrath became more populated, we would watch for a newly dropped collector seed, collect it, and place it in the entry canyon area. This allowed us to provide a more predictable entry experience for new arrivers and provide a single area to collect any resources that may have come along with the new arriver. So somebody would have had to place our paired seed in that location for us to have been in the entry area, right? But I thought there wasn't anybody else in the town. Or is there? Unlike ambassador seeds and mother seeds? Collector seeds do not seem to survive. The inner core is spent, leaving only the lifeless outer husk. Mother seeds, postulated but unverified, first suggested by Alima Hamsa 2232BH. The notion of mother seeds extrapolates the behavior of the lesser seeds to a superseed. She posited that this process that actually created the paired spheres was similar to all other swaps, but on a much grander scale. The idea is that two seeds from a mother tree, were scattered on the galactic winds to find appropriately similar environments. When matches were found, some process was triggered that swapped large portions of landscape between vastly different worlds. Alima further noted that the trees' locations in the center of the spheres suggested that the trees grew from these mother seeds. Because of the similarities, it has been conjectured that reswapping the entire environmental spheres might be possible with a larger scale version of the ambassador seed machine. So that's what's happening where we are right now. It is like a larger environment swap with some other planet. And that's why it looks so different from like the rest of the planet. And then the tree is in the center. Interesting. Okay. For what purpose, we don't know yet, but it does seem to be connected to the what is it? The Mofang, yeah. Oh, there seems to be like a bunch of stuff here. Oh, I can barely read that. Hang on. Is there any way to, like... Is there a transcript? Because, good lord, this is kind of hard to read. I shall document the curious events that have transpired with myself, my family, friends, and co-workers. Hartnell was a peaceful mining town founded by my grandfather and nestled within the red rock of the desert in the Arizona Territory. Its 163 inhabitants heard a mighty explosion on the night of June 27, 1903. I sent several workers through the town to verify that the explosion had not caused any injuries or damage to mining equipment. They returned and reported that it must have been a loud clap of thunder caused by dry lightning, for they found no damage. It was not until the light of the next morning that we were amazed to realize something profound had indeed occurred. At some point during that night, our entire mining facility and a large circle of the land around it seemed to have been scooped up and carried off to a completely different place, all without anyone knowing about it. Okay, so this is the kind of like how Hunrath was created. The entire landscape outside of our circle of desert could only be described as alien. Large floating rocks could be seen in the distance. No one had ever seen anything like it anywhere on Earth. We fully explored our new surroundings, hoping to find a way home. No way home was ever found. In fact, we soon discovered that what we take for granted now. Not only could we not get back home, we also could not access the landscape outside the desert. Curiously, we discovered that a flow of water was provided from a high point of rock, and we discovered a small tree growing in the very center of the circle. Our central tree that is so important to our lives here was just a mere sapling back then. We've got like all of the lore dump here, basically. Oh my god, premium legal pad. Premium means quality. Registered trademark. Species description, Mofang. Through ambassador seeds, the Mofang were the first non-human species humans were introduced to. Anne Liang was the first to call the alien a Mofang, impressed with their advanced ability to imitate our sounds, movements, and mannerisms. Although they have a name for themselves, their language is mostly unpronounceable by humans. As a result, and because of their mimicry abilities, communication with the Mofang is primarily accomplished by their learning human languages rather than humans learning to speak Mofang. They have been able to learn almost every human language represented in Hunrath, enough to provide functional, if rudimentary, communication. The Mofang basic external morphology is remarkably humanoid: bilateral symmetrical tetrapods, bipedal, head with anterior facial features, mouth, eyes, nostrils. Other external features include minimal body hair and raised dorsal protrusions. Constitution is somewhat frail due apparently to their thin and lightweight internal structure, but internal investigation has not been possible. They have ample cranial space to account for a substantial brain, and their intelligence is impressive as evidenced by their advanced technology. Oh man, they're about as, like, alien as you can get. like, standard alien. Awry, after a certain level of maturity and health of the tree, a passage opened at its base. This passage allowed contact with 2 additional species. The first contact was with the Awry. The first contact revealed the Awry to be large beetle-like insects. We were unable to communicate directly with them in any way, but they appeared to have some rudimentary level of intelligence. It was Lorink Toth who first made the journey through the heart to Kaptar, and named both the New World and the inhabitants. The Awry have 3 distinct variants that have come to be referred to as barnacle, beetle, and polyarch. Although their morphology is dramatically different from human, their internal systems, like all of our neighbors, are supported by similar atmospheric composition and basic nutrients. In their barnacle stage, the Awry are completely immobile. The Awry stay in this egg-like development state seemingly indefinitely. In order to hatch, they must be in proximity of a polyarch, and fertilized by the beetles after a certain stage of maturity. The beetles are the eyes and ears, hands and feet. With only a minimal nervous system of their own, they are essentially the sensory extensions of the immobile polyarchs. They are able to execute simple commands, but apparently have very little in the way of individual sentience. Oh, these funky guys, okay. The Awry polyarchs are the intelligence and consciousness of the species. Although it was obvious that there was intelligence behind the species, it wasn't until Caroline Farley began spending large amounts of time in close proximity that deeper communication began. With a room nearby, Farley was the first to communicate non-verbally and learn much about the species, including some historical information. The Awry species survived in their world, while several other sentient species came and went. Among them an ancient species who formed a deeper relationship with the Awry, carving temples and dwellings for them in the rocks. And later a more recent species that took over much of their homeworld. This latter species was especially adept at mechanical construction, using it mostly to capture and process large flying creatures, using the beetles as bait. Okay. Alright, Villain. The final species to be discovered were the Villain. The Villain had been communicating with the Arai for many years through ambassador seeds, but became part of the larger community very shortly after the Arai. With a large and imposing frame, and a form of communication based on a complex, multi-voiced, low-frequency rumble, the initial introductions were intimidating. After several attempts, Amelie Vidal was able to begin some rudimentary communication and begin visiting the Villain in Marais, which she named, on a regular basis. She discovered a complex and amazing society that was able to use their technology in unexpected ways. They had the ability to quickly transform their world using extruded structures based on some form of complex, miniature substrate material. Unlike the other worlds, the Villain sphere is scooped out of a Villain resettlement group that was preparing to set off into space to find a new homeworld. This was their way of life, to put themselves into stasis and scatter themselves through the stars. As mentioned previously, their appearance is imposing, standing about 9 feet tall with a distinct reptilian resemblance. They have 6 limbs, 2 muscular legs and arms, and a smaller set of arms. They control every aspect of their technology with their vocalizations, but over the years they have created control panels based on their number system that allow other species to easier access elements of their technology. Whoa, they're bulkier than I thought. Dang, they're ripped. Okay then. Alright, one more. Communication. Talking with our neighbors. We take communication for granted, even when the varied languages we find here in Hunrath, but when we suddenly find ourselves among other intelligent species who don't share our culture, history, DNA, or vocal cords, it requires a huge amount of effort for the beginning of rudimentary chatting. This quick overview will set the stage for what to expect when communicating with our neighbors. Mofang. The Mofang were the first non-humans we met. With at least some level of similar physical vocal generating abilities, they picked up human words quickly. This early mimicry resulted in what the species became to be called. Even though they were able to mimic single words and simple phrases, it became evident over the years that huge grammatical differences were not easily overcome. Some have proposed that the difficulty may have arisen because the Mofang insisted on attempting to learn every human language and as a result were never able to lock onto any consistent grammatical structure. Nevertheless, in spite of the rudimentary sentence construction, it has been very easy to communicate and has been unnecessary for us to learn their language beyond a few simple phrases and proper names. If you'd like to learn more about communication with the Mofang, please contact Tam. Villain. The Villain has presented a particular communication challenge. From what we can gather, they produce sounds using 2 large reed-like structures inside opposite sides of their heads. The vibrations generated are channeled to resonance chambers in their skulls, where they are combined into a complex low-frequency dual tone. The low-frequency bitonal sounds are not only hard for humans to hear and resolve, but impossible for us to mimic, and the Villain's hearing is also oriented towards low frequency, so they are unable to hear most of the sounds associated with human speech. Therefore, communication with the Villain has relied on technology. They have adapted consoles, which the Villain fluently control with vocalization, for use by other species. Over the years, some individuals of other species, including a few humans, have learned to communicate very effectively using this method. Humans have been able to pick out some higher frequency characteristics of certain key Villain words over the years, and although we can't speak to them in a way that the Villains can understand, we are occasionally able to hear and recognize these words when spoken distinctly by the Villain. If you'd like to learn more about communication with the Villain, please contact Vito. Arai. None of the stages of the Arai morphology have any vocalization apparatus. Because of the obvious synchronization of the barnacle flash and the ability of the pawns to provide for and address the needs of the polyarchs, it was assumed that the species could communicate effectively. It was not until Farley began to spend the large amounts of time in the polyarch antechamber that the first clues to this communication became evident. After months of research, Farley began to have limited success with receiving some kind of simple messages that were coming from the polyarchs. It is apparent now that the polyarchs had been attempting to communicate the entire time, but they themselves had been experimenting with various channels until they finally got a response from Farley. After this breakthrough, others were able to tune in to the polyarchs and learn to listen. Both the polyarchs and the pawns have a simple organ that can sense human vocal frequency, enabling them to sense simple responses from humans. But over the years, Farley was able to learn to speak to the polyarchs via a related form of extrasensory transmission. Extrasensory transmission? If you'd like to learn more about communication with the Arai, please contact Farley. Whew, okay, that was a lot of information all at once, but we have 3 different, alien races we're dealing with. And we got some backstory as to what's going on. Not fully, because they haven't said where the ambassador seeds come from or why, or if, it seems like all of the other races are kind of caught up in the seeds and aren't actually the ones creating them or anything. But I don't know. Oh. Oh. Huh. I still don't know what this is. It's clearly a clue to something. Hang on. We're gonna write this down really quick. Just noting this down in my notebook. I don't know if I'm doing a good job, but whatever. And then there's a dot here and here. Okay, I've written the pattern down, hopefully well enough. Yeah, I don't think that has anything to do with... I'm pretty sure it has to do with this. Yeah. Okay, the rest of these books aren't anything. Oh, that was so much reading. There. Koala? Aw, look at the koala. Poor thing is so ratty. We need to rewind all the way back. Hang on. Okay.
Well, I feel like I should say something. We haven't heard from Shavar So, well, so we assume that Shavar, well, the attack is inevitable. We just don't know when. So, Shavar and her family, and others she trusts, I guess, well, they'll arrive when they can, without giving, like, covertly. So the plan will happen in spite of our, we're locking down as much as possible here and moving everybody out. CW will stay here, and I'll go to Murray at the last possible moment. Most are gone. There's just a few left here now. The mayor got out early. I don't even know why I'm recording this. It's like somehow we'll live on or something. I guess this has meaning if someone listens, but who? A new one? A new arriver. Oh, God, the kiosk out front. I need to update that message.
What's it? Oh. There's another side.
We all lost everything. Everything but our stories.
Oh.
And they shouldn't be forgotten. I was 3. It was April of 1983. Cecil, it was 1870 for you. Sam, you tell it like it was yesterday, but it's been 62 years since you saw that
Ominous. Well then. Very ominous. Bunch of kids, children's drawings. I assume. So yeah, most everybody seems to have evacuated out of the town. Oh, here we go. This is important. Hi. 1. Seed pair. 2. Find planets with similar atmospheres. 3. Swap. There's actually a picture of a seed. 4. Tree from seed. Soria Mofang. So this is the Mofang planet that we're on, assumedly. The heart of the tree is below. Heart connected path. Open when mature. Heart superposition. 4 species met. What happens at fruition? Swap where? Home? When? Maybe dead? More seed pairs scattered throughout the universe? Why scattering? Okay, so they're trying to figure out why the seeds are doing this. My brother, small and nice, sings constantly, as noisy as a rock concert. If only he would be quiet. Okay, well, we got a lot out of that. Let's see. So what I want to do is... Did notice this. So I want to close this, and then we're going to go back through Farley's house and around so we can go and lower the stairs. Because that might be the only way to get into the tree area? That's right, also I wanted to double check the battery. Okay, so... see, yeah, this connects it. Right? But it doesn't seem to be connected to anything? Is that the issue here? There's like this one plug where it's not, it's just kind of dangling here. I wonder if CW has anything else to say to us. He might not. Thanks, CW. Okay, let's keep running. Okay, see, now we can go over this. And lower this. There we go. Yikes. Okay. Hopefully this will lead us to the tree interior? Rotary again? 6, 4, uh-oh. 3, 1, 9. Oh, Lord. We're gonna need a passcode for this, too. Gosh darn it. What am I missing? Why are there so many passcodes? Okay. I see. The telephone... I have a feeling they put that phone booth in there just for people who have never seen a rotary phone before, so they know how to use this. It's like, this is a rotary phone. This is where the numbers are. Okay. I feel like I'm running out of options. I guess there was those 2 teleport sections that I haven't tried yet. I could try finagling with those now. Yeah, let's try it. Let's try this one. Where will this take us? Oh, the particle effects. Okay, this particle effect is really fun. Oh, we are in like a really, really different place. Oh boy. Okay. That looks like a ship of some sort. This looks like maybe Villain technology? I don't think we can get in at the moment. I think we're a bit out of luck here. There's definitely something going on here. But I don't think we can reach it yet. Well, and we're back. Where was the other one? I have to remember how I got to the other one. That led to a door I can't open yet. I think it was this way. Yeah, it was this way. Okay, this is another spot. Transport is different for this one, though. Oh. Alright, we're in yet another different world. Or is it? That jungle looks a bit familiar over there. Is there some neat carvings? Or, like, paintings? feels like we're really high up. Huh. It definitely looks like the jungle we saw before. Oh. We're really high up. There's a laser over there. Some kind of critter. Time to rotate Rotato. Here we go. What does that do? Oh, interesting. Oh, it was a stopper. It was stopping it from rotating. What the? Hello? Oh! Are these the guys? One of the alien races. They're like weird crabs. They're called the beetles, right? Oh, they really are like weird crabs.